The question that I want to pose to you is, how does being an authentic leader assist with change? How does being an authentic leader assist with change? It's become a burning topic. It is, since 2004, there have been a number of now articles and papers written on it. And part of what I'm doing with that master's program with Oxford is I'm looking at what role does it play if people can express themselves to the bottom line? What is the connection? If teams can say what they're thinking and feeling, how much impact does it have on bottom line? And the reason why this topic of authenticity is becoming so critical is because there are a lot of failed businesses because of inauthenticity. So there's a danger around that, where it's becoming a burning topic because people are seeing the pain that when it's not there, that it's causing. I always like to go back to the root word, and the root is authento, and that means to have full power, whereby the individual becomes the master of his or her domain. So when we look at authenticity, it very much is writing your story. How does being an authentic leader assist with change? So what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a little bit of context of what I mean and what True North means by what it means to be authentic and an authentic leader. The first thing is that when we talk about an authentic leader, there's a myth or a misnomer that you've got authentic leaders and inauthentic leaders. Guess what? There's a continuum. And there's a danger that it puts on leaders to say, you have to be an authentic leader. Because the irony is that in trying to be an authentic leader, you become inauthentic. So one of the things, and this is from a lot of research that I've been doing, is that this is coming up as a challenge. We're looking at authentic leadership, and just through the research, leaders who are mainly authentic are feeling, oh, if I say this, if I do this, I'm not being authentic. So I want to nip that in the bud right now before we have the discussions. It's on a continuum, and there's one paper that talks about the pseudo-authentic leader. And there are a number of papers that challenge that. There is no pseudo-authentic leader. And sometimes you're going to be really authentic and sometimes you're not. It's to be human. It's to be human. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, with an authentic leader, your authentic leader can be participative in style, directive in style. There's no particular leadership style. And again, here's a huge debate that's raging at the moment, is that you can have a ruthless authentic leader. For the purposes of our discussion, we are taking the stand that with authenticity, you do have a strong moral framework. So, and again, a lot of the papers support that, because it's looking at, we are operating from looking at the whole ecosystem rather than just saying, I'm ruthless and I'm authentic. Think about some of the leaders in our world, they might be perceived like that. For the purposes of today, what are your values? So authentic leaders have very strong values. They know who they are. They know what they stand for. They know what they will and won't put up with. So authentic leaders have a strong sense of self-awareness. Authentic leaders are able to build strong relationships. So they're able to collaborate and they're able to mobilize, both people within their teams and people in other teams as well. Authentic leaders are, if you think about that saying, know thyself. They just going back to that, they really know who they are. There are going to be times where they feel that they're being tested with their value system. That is understandable. There are constraints within organizations. So we're looking at self-awareness, relationships, value systems. The challenge lies in that you can be an authentic leader, but some of the papers are also looking at the fact that, what about your followers? Sometimes they're not authentic. And you can't force somebody to find meaning in their work. You can't force somebody to be authentic. You can influence your style, but you can't force your followers to do X in a certain way. So that's just looking at authenticity as a whole. So this is, as I said, really hot topic at the moment. How does being an authentic leader assist with change? Given the constraints in organizations, they're the constraints of power, they're the constraints of time, and they're the constraints of where the organization wants X and the individual wants Y. So we are driven by bottom line, we are driven by profit. What happens if being authentic means you say to your clients, we are failing in this area? So sometimes we will not do that. So it's about also being mindful of the constraints and the challenges.